Good evening. Hello, hello, hello. See if I can get that light round a bit better. How's everyone doing? I hope you're okay. Still glowing off that TV a bit. See if I can get a bit of that glare off there. Seconds. One person in. Good evening, good evening. Hope you're okay. Let yourself be known in the chat. Hello, future boy. Good evening. You okay? Hope everything's okay. Give it a couple of minutes, see if we can get a few more people in before I start rambling on about nonsense. That light's a bit weird, isn't it? So I can sort that out a bit. Yeah, like I say, it was a bit of an improv thing, this really. I just banded it around a bit on my social media and put it up on here about an hour and a half ago, something like that, that it was going to go on at 9. If not, then it's just anybody that turns up, really. I mean, if I could sort this light out, it would be a bit better. So the only thing, wearing glasses and trying to use a ring light, the two just do not go together. Have you picked anything up recently, future boy? Have you got anything new in your library or your collection? I've picked a few things up over the last few weeks. I've had to be careful, look. Obviously, Christmas is coming up. It was my birthday at the end of November, so I wasn't buying anything around there because people had told me not to, obviously because of gifts. And then obviously with Christmas coming up now, I've been really careful with what I'm buying. Obviously, again for the gift side of thing. So the stuff that I've been picking up was sort of probably not on anybody's radar. It was just really, really obscure stuff. I picked a lot of second-hand stuff up. Absolutely loads of it, to be honest. Excuse me. I've got a couple of new bits. One a Vestron title release that I'd been after for ages and ages. That finally got a Blu-ray release and a new Arrow video release as well. But the rest of it is basically second-hand stuff I found relatively cheap. So more stuff going into the cartoon collection. more stuff going into my TV collection, and then a few obviously going into my film collection as well. Yeah, that Shaw Brothers box set. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Again, I do like martial arts films, but only certain kinds. Some of the Jackie Chan stuff I like, the Bruce Lee stuff I love, some of the Jackie Chan stuff I like, some of the really, really obscure stuff. I'm not that well sort of well up on it really. The knowledge on it isn't that good. And then the sort of like 80s sort of martial arts stuff, as that started coming through, I'm okay with that kind of thing. A lot of that like karate influenced films of the 80s. But ninja films, I'm partial to a good ninja film. One that I've been looking up recently, it's never had a DVD release or even a Blu-ray release or anything that way. I had it on VHS for a long while growing up, and I don't ever know what happened to it from the collection. That was a film called Ninja Apocalypse. Ninja Apocalypse is a really badly edited film, but it's still entertaining enough. It's quite good. I recently found that there's a copy of it up on YouTube that the quality is quite good on. So I've got it on there. Then I've recently found the original VHS copy of it that I had. There's a couple of them up on eBay for relatively no money at all. They can be picked up for about £4 or £5. So I might indulge on that. Street Sharks, yeah. The Street Sharks, the German company, is it Pidax? They've had Street Sharks out on DVD for a while on a 3 individual disc set. I think it's about 16. It works out to about £16.90. That's posted from Germany as well. So that's been out for quite a while. But they're all turning out the Sonic cartoons. Well, which Sonic cartoon is it? Because I remember one of them being better than the other. There was 2 out at the time. So they're releasing Street Sharks standard definition, but on Blu-ray. Adventure Sonic. Adventure Sonic's currently running on what's this? Pluto TV. Pluto TV's got a designated channel for Mario and Sonic cartoons, and Adventure Sonic is currently running on that. There are a couple of companies now, German companies as well, as doing SD on Blu-ray. It seems to be a thing. I think it's just a thing just so you can physically get more episodes onto one disc. I don't think there's any remastering or anything going on. It's just a content thing. How much content they can get onto one disc, which is pretty good. As you can see, I've got one of the greatest Christmas films of all time on behind me, Invasion USA with Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is about as good as a close prop in this film, but I still love it. I mean, he's absolutely wooden in it, but the film's still pretty good. It's entertaining. Typical Canon film. Give it another couple of minutes, see if anybody else does come in. Ping some stuff out on my social media, see if we get anything else. Oh, that's cool. So Mill Creek put Street Sharks out originally, did they? In the US. Analog quality. Yeah, I mean, you tend to find that it's. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I just, I don't really know what it is. I mean, I've looked at other people's channels, and to be fair, there's not many people doing what I do. There's an odd few sort of 80s related channels, but it's like people talking about 80s stuff that never experienced the 80s. And they all seem to think that the 80s was neon pink and green and you know what I mean? And weird triangular patterns. It wasn't. I just remember the 80s being dark and brown. You know, it's a weird one. And people's coming over to this channel, people are watching videos. I mean, I've currently one video that's coming on for 4,500 views, which is brilliant. But I can't seem to get the subscribers. I can get the views. The views aren't an issue, but subscribers seem to be. And it seems to be a lot. Thank you. Personality wise, I don't try and play it up. I don't try to put anything on. I'm not writing any scripts. I'm just talking nonsense from off the top of my head that I know about some of this stuff, and I think it pays off. You know what I mean? It's the more relaxed approach about things. It's I just find it's an easier way of doing it than trying to script stuff. Scripting things for me is more difficult than just talking about things. Yeah, you know what I mean. Having lived through the 80s and early 70s, late 70s, all through the 80s, early 90s. You know what I mean? It's just stuff I've grown up with. That now people think it's quite cool to go back to and not know much about it. If you know something about it, you know what I mean. You'll know it's not a lot of people actually think it was. But no, but trying to get people to subscribe is very difficult. I mean, I don't know a lot of people actually get on with it and do it. You know, I mean, some channels I watch have got less views than I've got on videos, but yet they've thousands of subscribers. So I don't understand how you can have thousands of subscribers but only have a couple hundred views on a video. But I've got thousands of views to a video, but only a couple of hundred subscribers. It's quite odd, but it is what it is. It doesn't bother me in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I suppose as a kid growing up in the 80s, you had pretty much free reign of things. You know what I mean? People weren't as much worried as what you're being subjected to, I suppose, as what they are now. And that's why we got so much, because basically everything that we were subjected to was a subliminal advert to buy this shit. You know what I mean? Whether it was cartoons, whether it was films, whether it was a cereal, whether it didn't matter what it was. It was just for something to, you know what I mean, buy. You know what I mean? You saw something on TV, you bugged your parents for it. It was as simple as that. And I don't think that's not the same nowadays. Even watching normal TV in the UK, just adverts, everyday adverts on TV channels just aren't the same as what they were in the 80s. They're not advertising the same things as what they was advertising when I was a kid. Times have changed, you know what I mean? And I think that's all it boils down to. Plus, kids have got this kind of stuff now, and they, you know, from technology and gaming and mobile technology, streaming services. Everything's just spoon fed now. You don't actually have to go out and look for this stuff anymore like you used to. And if you knew a show was starting at 6 o'clock in the morning, you got up at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch a cartoon. If you knew a particular show, TV show that you enjoyed on a Saturday evening, came on at 6, you got to the TV at 6 o'clock. Now you can just press a button and watch stuff whenever you want. You know what I mean? I think that's a big difference as well. Yeah, political censoring. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how much sort of the UK back in the 80s. You know what I mean? It's I think we really just followed on from what was going on in the States at the time, what was going on in the US, and I mean we just got everything off the back of that, as did I would say every other country in the world. We did turn some out. The UK did turn out some quality stuff as well as, but we was bringing a lot of US shows in all through the 80s. So we're 15 minutes in, and I'm not actually showed nothing yet. So I've got three stacks. I've got cartoon, I've got TV, and I've got film. Streaming is, yeah. I mean, I think the thing is with streaming is, obviously, if you're into different things, then you're going to have to sign up to different services. End of the day, it costs you a fortune. But people don't want people don't want this in their houses anymore. I think that's the difference as well. Is, you know what I mean? I've got a room here just full of this shit, but that's because I personally love it. But a lot of people look at this now, and it's just a space killer to them. You know what I mean? People don't want it in the houses anymore, and I think collectors like us are I wouldn't say dying breed, but it's definitely a niche market. You know what I mean? It's definitely a small percentage of people that's still doing this kind of thing. Excuse me. Right, we'll start off. I think we'll start off. Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is quantity over quality, because a lot of the stuff that the streaming services now, like direct streaming service films, stuff going to Netflix or Amazon, some of it's just absolute garbage. You know what I mean? It's terrible. I mean, I started watching one the other day with The Rock in it. I can't think what it's called. It's been on Netflix, I think, for a while. Something to do with Cleopatra's eggs, these eggs that Cleopatra had made. And I got about half an hour in, and it was just absolute garbage. So yeah, it just is quantity over quality. Right, we'll start with some cartoons and some cartoon stuff that I've picked up. All this stuff is second hand. It's either CEX finds or eBay finds or stuff like that. And most of it, to be fair, apart from one that I paid absolutely ridiculous money for, but even I got that cheap. Most of this I picked up for relatively pence, next to nothing. So the first one is this was a late 70s show. I think it's 77, 78. Was shown in the UK, ran all the way through the 80s, probably was still running in the early 90s. And it's a Cosgrove Hall show. Now, if you watch my other videos and that, you'll know I love Cosgrove Hall and why I love Cosgrove Hall. But it is series 1 and series 2 of Jamie and the Magic Torch. Brilliant show. For some reason, and I don't know why, because obviously this must have sold well when it came out. Season 1 was put out by one company, and then season 2 was put out by another company, even though they've used the same kind of artwork on the cover. And then series 3 has never been released in the UK, which I found really weird. There's an Australian release of it. There's a complete box set in Australia, but for some reason in the UK we never got it. So the only thing I can think of is series 1 probably sold really well. Series 2 didn't sell that well, and they just thought, balls to it, we're not doing series 3. But it's a really good show. Another one of those shows that adds a memorable theme tune when it first kicked in. Absolutely bonkers 70s psychedelic cartoon that still holds up pretty well. It's really good. I don't think there's much. Yeah, just like that. So that's how the series 1 was put out. I think the 13 episodes. Yeah, so the 13 10-minute episodes on that one. Series 2, slightly better, bit better box. So it's obviously been done by a different company, been put out by a different company. Then obviously you've got the listing there of each episode. Then you've got a bit of artwork on the back of that, where the disc is of Jamie and Wordsworth. Wordsworth's there coming down the Elton Scott. There's Jamie. The Terrahawk stuff and the Joe Knighty stuff. See, Network do a lot of the Jerry Anderson stuff. There's a lot. I'm almost sure at the moment there's a box set of Supercar coming out as well. Supercar was pretty good. There's definitely a remastered Fireball XL5 on the and a remastered Stingray, as well as I'm almost sure they've got a remastered Thunderbirds on there as well. Joe 90 is definitely meant. Everything that Network's put out on that style has been remastered. Like I've showed in one of my other videos, that Terrahawk set that I've got, that isn't the remastered one. So it's not in 16:9. It's only in 4:3. It still looks good, you know what I mean? It still looks really good. But the Network ones are the remastered ones. The Network ones are also available on Blu-ray as well. So that Terrahawk set is available on Blu-ray and looks really, really good. I mean, see, Network sites have a website. I can put a link a bit further down in this later on. Check out the link, and everything's in subcategories. And you can go to, I think there is just a Jerry Anderson section. You can go to the Jerry Anderson section because I think Space Precinct's on there as well as the Network have done. The Network are a really good UK-based company. They do a lot of this old stuff like that. Twice a year they'll go on sale, and you can get them at least, I would say probably a quarter to a third off the price if you wait to sale. So Terrahawks Blu-ray at sale time you may get for about £18. Shout Factory did Thunderbirds. Yeah, I mean, there's a there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that stuff. I mean, Network is probably the best company in the UK that's put a lot of that kind of stuff out. And they're definitely worth a look at. Light is doing my head in. That's a bit better. If you're into those sort of like marionette kind of shows, there's absolutely loads of them. So depending on how far back you want to go with that kind of stuff, again, if you look at Network, it'll give you releases by date. I think the oldest one that they've got on there from the sort of marionette puppet shows is 4 for the Falls. So 4 for the Falls is on there. Yeah, Supercar is black and white. So 4 for the Falls is black and white. Supercar is black and white. There was another one as well that was black and white. I can't remember what it is. And then once you get into Thunderbirds and Joe 90 and Stingray, Fireball XL5, Captain Scarlet, Terrahawks. Once you get all to that, they all come into colour. But if you're into that kind of stuff, then check out some of the old black and white stuff. Supercars go, but 4 for the Falls is a really, really early one. I wouldn't that even say how old that is. I mean, I've got the back of my head late 50s, 58, 59, maybe very early 60s. Let's have a quick look. 1960, 4 for the Falls. So that on the stuff that network's selling, that's probably as far back as it's going to go. I use Tubi, but I've never looked for anything like that on it. I would imagine if streaming wise, they might be in decent quality, especially if Shout Factory's doing it, because Shout Factory for Thunderbird, Shout Factory have got a section on Tubi, haven't they? So, well, definitely look out for the network one. Like I say, I'll drop a link to the website down below in the descriptions in a bit. So them two with Jamie and the Magic Torch I picked up, which is again, they're actually nothing. They're about £1 each, so they're for nothing. This one just dropped in my lap really, and now I'm going to have to pick volume 2 up. But there's only 2 volumes, and there is a complete collection of this. But the complete collection goes for about £150 over. It's been out of print for ages. It's unreal, and you can never even at 150 quid you can never find it. And that is Battle of the Planets. This is volume 1. There's a volume 2 as well. These were put out by a company called Playback. Playback do a lot of TV stuff onto DVD, and they do it quite well. These are in like a herd media case, like a media book kind of thing. So that's front. Back. Like that. Yeah, you will know it. Battle for the Planets. It was a big thing. Yeah, you will know it's a different name. My mind has gone a blank moment. So it was the Japanese name is Gatchaman, but it also had another Western name as well. It was a show that it had Gatchaman. That's it. Yeah. But it also had another Western name as well, and for the life I can't think what it is now. Like I said, Gatchaman was what it was known as in Japan, and then over here, UK, US, and that was Battle of the Planets. A really good show. Now, when I watched this, and when I was that young, I never thought this as being anime. It was just a different style looking cartoon. I had a big thing for it. It was huge. The music, the style, the overall way each episode went. It's good. And this release by Playback, they're quite old. These now, about 2006, I think these came out. Sorry, 2002. So this is in really good condition. But like I said, they're a solid, like a media book, really. And then obviously back again, like that. And then inside sets up like that. This is the easier one to pick up. So for this one, volume 2 is a bit harder, a little more expensive on 2 discs like that. I think this one's around a £5 now, around about £5. I think the volume 2 goes for about £8. But then like I said, that complete box set, all 85 episodes, is about 150 second hand now. It's been out of print for ages and ages, and you can never find a copy of it anywhere, even at £150. You know what I mean, you can't find them. We have a secondary site on here in the UK called CEX, and it's on the CEX at 150 or 135, but there's never any copies of it in there neither. Even at that kind of money, I wouldn't spend that anyway. It's just stupid money for a show. As much as I like it, I'm never going to do it. Sentai, I've got Gatchaman on Blu-ray. Well, that would be cool. I'll have to dig around and have a look for that. Because it is a good show. It is entertaining. If you remember a show from the late 90s, that was I think it was a Fox Kids show or a Jetix show, one of the two. Well, I've completely lost it now. I can't think of the name of the show now. Oh, Megas XLR. If you was ever a fan of Megas XLR, there was a big crossover in Megas XLR on 2 episodes, I think, along with Battle of the Planets. So the characters from Battle of the Planets came down to fight Megas because they thought he was the bad guy and he wasn't. It's good. Megas XLR is available on DVD as well, but no complete set of it. Considering it was only a short run show, I don't know why there's no complete set. So that was Battle of the Planets. Another little weird one for me now, and the only reason I picked this one up is because it was £1 in a charity shop, and it's in really good condition. And that's Tintin, the movie collection. For £1, I couldn't leave it there. It's in really good condition. That light is doing nothing. 3 Tintin films on this one. The Calculus Affair, The Prisoners of the Sun, and Mysteries at Shark Island. 3 set like that. Like I said, for £1, I couldn't leave it there. It's fantastic. There is a real good box set in the UK of Tintin from all the episodes from the show. The films are on there, and that is really cheap. Now over here, it's about, I think it's about £4 or £5. It's a nice little box set as well. It is really good. Like I said, Tintin, the movie collection for £1. I couldn't leave that there. These ones now all come from the same company. I'm still looking for a couple of other ones that go with this collection. It's funny because do I prefer DVD or Blu-ray? The way I collect, because I'm collecting all the stuff, it isn't always available on Blu-ray, so I have to take DVD of it, which I'm fine with DVD. You know what I mean? I've got stuff here that's upscaling as well as, so it will upscale it on the system I've got, so it looks okay. Some DVDs remastered, so it does look a little bit better. I'm not a complete Blu-ray snob. I love Blu-ray. I think it looks brilliant. I've not took the leap into 4K as yet proper. My 4K section is a bit, it's very hit and miss. I haven't got much. But I will still buy DVD. I'll still buy a lot of DVD because it's dirt cheap. You can pick it up for next to nothing now. People just don't want it anymore. And it's brilliant for sort of TV series. There's a hell of a lot of TV series released to DVD, whereas they've never been migrated over to Blu-ray. Films do. Films get moved. A lot of this cartoon stuff will never appear on Blu-ray. Yeah, they're the two. The advantages over DVD. Yeah, it is higher bitrate and durability. You can punish a Blu-ray and it doesn't really scratch. Same with the 4K disc. Whereas DVDs, you know what I mean, you have to look at them really, and you can get superficial damage on But sometimes that's the only way you can get something to your collection that you want, is if you take the DVD of it. This light is really bugging me. It's a bit better. So these ones, yeah, I've been looking at these for a while, and these are very late 70s shows. So I was a really small child. I'd have been 3 or 4 years old when most of these shows were airing. But then they carried on showing all through the 80s, again into the early 90s, because they were good shows. So the first one being the complete Will o' the Wisp. If you remember this show, or you've ever seen this show, you'll know how crazy that is. That is a really, really good show. 26 episodes. Again, they're about 10 minutes long each. The voiceover on this was by Kenneth Williams. If you know the Carry On films, you'll know Kenneth Williams. Kenneth Williams was a prolific actor in the Carry On films. I think, to be fair, I think he was in every single Carry On film. He does the voices for Will o' the Wisp. Will o' the Wisp is a great show. I mean, it's absolutely batshit crazy, but yeah, I mean, if you can't find a release of Tintin in the US, I don't mind mailing things out. I mean, my good friend on here, Johnny Walker, he lives in the US, and I mail stuff to him all the time. It's easy done from the UK, mailing stuff. So if you're ever looking for something, it's a UK only, then I can help you out. I will do. Again, that's the internals of Will o' the Wisp. I like how these are presented. The company that does these are no longer going, but they turned about 7 of these shows out altogether. There's some really, really good stuff amongst it all. Will o' the Wisp was probably the more obscure one of the time, and there's some other great ones of them that I'm still looking for. This one is my favourite out of this collection that this company put out, and it's the Flumps. This probably never made it to the US. I wouldn't imagine so. I mean, this was so quintessential English that it probably wouldn't have translated well into the US market at all. And also, this is a very northern show. So I live in the northwest of England, and this show it's based around these areas where I live. The characters, the voiceovers in these. Do yourself a favour, have a look at a YouTube trailer for the Flumps, and be prepared for the theme tune just to bury its way into your brain, because you're never going to get it out once you hear it. It's fantastic. Great little show. 13 episodes, 10 minutes each. Really, it's a younger kids show. And it explains things, everyday scenarios to children about life and sharing things and family, but it's done in a really fun little northern way. And in every 10-minute episode, there's some sort of interaction between the family, and then a breakaway segment where there's a little bit of another show within the show, and then the lady that narrates it, she always sings a song, but it's class. It is absolutely brilliant. So if you've never come across it before, it's stop motion animation as well. It's not cartoon, it is stop motion animation. And the only way I can describe it to you, the balls of fluff. That's it. The balls of fluff that would live in a wall in a garden. It sounds completely batshit crazy, and it is, but it's a really, really good show. And this was only ever 13 episodes made of this show, and it ran for 14 years. 14 years it was never off the TV. So this kept showing the same 13 episodes over and over and over again. for years on end. But it's very good. But these are really cheap now. Like, I think like Will of the Wisp was about £1.50. Flumps was £1. There's another one in this series called Finger Bobs. Another one that's called Bod. Crystal Tips and Alistair are in all these. These were just crazy late 70s, very early 80s psychedelic nut job of shows. But they're worth looking into. And then the final one, pick up for my cartoons. This was the big hitter. If you watched one of my previous videos, where I just had a meltdown over this, really, it is Alias the Jester. Probably one of the best UK cartoon shows of the 80s. Beautiful animation in this, really basic, but it works. Fantastic voice acting, fantastic characters. Excuse me. Everything about it works. Another one that's got a superb title theme tune. Again, was made by the powerhouse that was Cosgrove Hall at the time in the UK. Cosgrove Hall are literally about, well, they were literally about 25 miles away from where I live. So they're a local company that used to put all this stuff out. And this is probably, I mean, they did bigger things. They did Danger Mouse, and they did Count Duckula. They did Wind in the Willows. They did bigger things than this. But if you actually watch it on and you watch Alias the Jester, this is fantastic. And going back to it as an adult, I'm getting more out of these now than what I was when I was younger. You know what I mean? There's sort of subliminal jokes that you wouldn't have got as a child that have just been over your head completely. It just works with this fantastically now. It's great. But this is out of print, and this has been out of print for years. And I imagine when it was for sale, the numbers would have been small on this anyway. It wouldn't have been mass produced. So trying to find a copy of this now is very, very difficult. And I mean very difficult. And if you are finding a copy, you are paying completely over the odds. And like I said before, there's a couple of copies of this up on eBay at the moment for about between 70 and 80 pound a copy. And I managed to find this one, and eventually got a final bid on it in eBay at 35. So I paid £35 for this for a second hand. It is like new. I will give them that. It is mint. I mean, there is not a mark on it. It doesn't look like it's ever been watched before. But this is a great show, and if you've never come across it, which you probably haven't, it'll be another show from the UK that probably never went over to the US, because again, like the Flumps, it's very northern. It's very from where I'm from, and it probably wouldn't have translated that well into a US market because of my accent and the irony in it. It probably wouldn't have worked, but it is a brilliant show, and anybody that's not seen it, I'd always say give it a whirl. It's brilliant. So that's all the cartoon stuff that I picked up. There is an anime from my childhood called Arabian Nights, The Sinbad Adventures, Captain Future, Dinosaur Wars. I'm trying to hunt down. I know Captain Future. The other ones I'm not that well up on. Arabian Nights, The Sinbad Adventures. Don't know that one. That one's never come to my attention. Captain Future has. I remember seeing Captain Future. Wasn't a big thing in the UK. It ran for a little while and then just disappeared as soon as it turned up. And Dinosaur War, Eisenberg. I don't know that one. I don't know that one neither. I'll have to have a look for those myself and get some more information on them ones. So that was all the cartoon stuff I picked up. TV series stuff that I picked up. I picked some of these up for really, really good money. Again, second-hand DVD. Thank you. This one, I remember watching this when it first aired in the UK, which would have been late 80s. this is series 1. I'm currently trying to track down series 2, series 3 for the right money. They're out there. They can be found. The Christmas, so we'll have a look for them. But it is season 1 of the Young Indiana Jones, or the Adventures of the Young Indiana Jones. I remember watching these when I was younger and was bowled over by them. I thought they was exceptionally good. Going back to this, I've watched a couple of episodes, and it still holds up pretty well. It's a nice one to go back to. It's not a one that everybody remembers, and you think they would, because it's the 3 sets that are available, series 1, 2, and 3. They are hefty sets. You know what I mean? You're not messing about with these. They're absolute beasts of sets. Coming a decent enough shell box. But then the digipack opens like, I mean, it's one of the biggest digipacks I've ever seen. But it's set up quite nicely like that, and then it just keeps going and going. So you've got all that on that side, and then all that on that side. I mean, it is a beast of a digipack. I picked this up for £5, which is just an absolute bargain. So it's been fun watching a couple of episodes of this and sort of reminiscing with it, a bit of nostalgia from a Saturday afternoon in the UK when this used to come on. So like I say, I'm going to have to pick seasons 2, season 3 up, because season 1 he's quite a young schoolboy. DVD this is a DVD set. And then he's in series 2, he's into his teenage years, and then in season 3 he's sort of like early 20s, I think. So it's nice how it rolls along, and you're watching him grow. So yeah, that was series 1 of the Adventures of Young Indiana Jones. That was a nice one to find. Next one, I've been looking for a full set of this for a while, and again, it's another one in the UK that's out of print now, and it's hard to put your finger on a full complete collection of it. And I'm not willing to pay the money they're asking, because you're getting in the realms of £60 and £70 for a second-hand set of it. But I dropped on season 1 very, very cheap, a couple of pounds for season 1, and that is Quantum Leap. I love this show. Really, really good all the way through. It's a fantastic show. These boxes are quite good as well. They're coming. See all the years come off of that. It's quite a smart set. You can buy all these in seasons like this, or the big box set comes in like a big digipack. These are like smaller digipacks. There's quite a lot of bonus features on this stuff as well. So we'll have a quick look at this, and I'll go back and have a look at that. I've got in my head 87 for Young Indiana Jones. I think it was 87. I might be wrong. It might be a little bit earlier, but I've got 87 in my head. But we'll have a look in a sec. So the digipack is quite good. I'll learn that. And then this is a 3-disc set. So I've not actually watched any of these yet, but I would imagine they're in a decent enough quality. Again, I'm not sure who's put these out. These may come out straight from Universal, I think. So they should be decent enough quality. So that was Quantum Leap. Yeah, this one came out. Let's have a look. I was completely wrong. 92. I always thought it was earlier than that, but yeah, 92. So I would imagine it goes 92, 93, 94 for the 3 seasons. But it's definitely worth a pick up. It's definitely worth a watch. That's Young Indiana Jones. We've looked at Quantum Leap. Again, this one's a complete set. I've always loved this show. I was never really keen on the newer reboot stuff that they did, and the new sort of spin on this that they did. It just wasn't for me. Friends of mine have watched it and they've enjoyed it, but I could never get into it because I had a big soft spot for the original film and I had a big soft spot for the TV show, and that is Battlestar Galactica. I don't know why these I've chose some of the worst cases to show on a live stream ever. A glaring feedback off these. The complete Battlestar Galactica on DVD. It's a good set. It's one that I've been monitoring for a while. There is a full Blu-ray set of this, but it's a little bit pricey. And I dropped on this in a charity shop for £3. And that is worth £3 of anybody's money all day long, because that show is just brilliant. Again, all these older releases always came in these big cardboarded digipacks, or this one's slightly different. It comes in like the sort of like swing tray kind of setup like that. But again, it's in really decent condition. The outer box is a little bit battered, but the internal piece is really good. Even the playback catalogue is inside it as well. Still, that's still in really good condition. So that was a nice find, because again, the show's really good. I mean, that's set over 7 discs. I think, what does it say? 7 discs, 21 hours of footage. I mean, that's for £3. You know what I mean? It's Captain Power. I will again put a link in this description for you. And there is a German company. Again, it's the company's called Pidax out of Germany, and they've got the complete 3-season setup of Captain Power. Go and check that out. It's another one of those shows that I enjoyed, but it didn't get that much sort of runtime in the UK. Really, it was one of those shows that obviously showed, but didn't do that well, so he never really got rerun. But there's a German company that's got that release out. Yeah, again, I'll put a link down below for you. The company's called Pidax, Pidax, and they will mail to anywhere in the world. No, I'm not saying it's going to be free to mail to the US. With me being in the UK and then being in Germany, I get free shipping on orders over €20. Whether it's free shipping to the US, I probably doubt it, but they do ship worldwide. So that was all my TV stuff, and now we're on to my films. And these 2 of them were pre-orders, 2 of them are new releases. One of them's an older release that I've been looking out for a while, and I finally came across a copy of it. We'll do that one first, then we'll look at the 2 new releases. So this one's an Arrow video release of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Came across this on yeah, the Germans get a lot of really good stuff. I don't know what it is. I mean, they love a digipack and digibooks out there. I mean some of their media books that they put out in Germany are phenomenal, and they're always relatively cheap as well. They're not overly expensive. They do some really good stuff. It's just down to licensing, I suppose. It just, whatever companies they're dealing with, they're just getting the licenses for it. But they produce some fantastic stuff. Me here in the UK, we're quite lucky as well. I mean, we've got loads of great boutique Blu-ray companies. From Arrow Video, 88 Films, 101 Films. I don't know if the licensing's no issue in Germany or not. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know why it is they can get things that we can't get over here. I'm unsure. I don't really know why they're getting stuff like that. Well, like I said, hold on a minute. My connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Have I dropped? Have I disappeared or have I come back on? I have no idea. I could be live. I could not be live. I don't know at this point. It's still telling me I'm live, but it's also telling me my connection's gone unstable. Oh, cool. I don't know what it is then. Yeah, so Arrow's release of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I love this film. I've been after this for ages and ages. Couldn't find a copy. Then out of the blue, one dropped in my lap. Not cheap anymore, this, on second-hand market. It's just 20 quid now. But this came with everything. So there's the Blu-ray. But it came with the booklet and the poster. So we've got the booklet for it as well as, which is cool. Some really great art on it. Arrow know what they're doing with this kind of stuff. And then I was really made up that it had everything. It was great, and it had the poster in it as well. So double-sided poster with the recommissioned art and the old original art. So I'll get that a bit further back, I think. Poster. And that one. So that was a pretty good find. I was made up to come across that. A little bit expensive, but it's worth it in the long run. So that was that one, and then another Arrow release that's come out this week. Sorry, came out on Monday. Got released on Monday in the UK. Is My Stepmother's an Alien. Some people don't like this film. I personally think it's quite good. Dan Aykroyd and Kim Basinger on this. I've not had a chance to watch it yet. Don't know what the transfer's like. I mean, it's a 2K restoration, so it should be pretty good. And again, with this being a pre-order, that's the disc inside. Obviously, alternative artwork as well. The alternative artwork is the same as the slip. Like that. Which, to be fair, I was not keen on that art at all. The movie's great. I've always liked this film. A lot of people don't like it, but I personally like it. And then obviously it comes as all first print Arrow stuff do with a little book. Which is cool. The one that we need next from Arrow is Earth Girls Are Easy. If they put that out, then that will be fantastic. So that was My Stepmother's an Alien. I've been waiting a little while for that one. But the one that I had on pre-order that finally hit UK shows, and the only thing we ever had of this was a really lousy DVD version of it, which was always went for stupid money. It still goes for stupid money now. Is The Wraith. Brilliant film. Really glad Vestron decided to put this out. Really glad they decided that it was coming to UK as well, because not all Vestron titles get to these shows. I would say probably only 50% of what Vestron's put out managed to get over here. And this was the one that I wanted. And if I couldn't have got this in the UK, then I would have taken import. But lo and behold, Vestron did a brilliant thing and turned it out over here as well. So I couldn't ask for much more, because it's a fantastic film. It's just cheesy as hell, but it is really, really good. Nice with the slip as well. Obviously, no alternative on these Vestron releases, but that's the disc. And these are really good for 15 quid. All those Vestron titles are really nice. They've put some really, really good stuff out. And with the slip as well, £15. Some of the older Vestron titles now are getting slightly less in money. But that's the Wraith. And really, that's the last thing I've picked up. I've not done really anymore. Obviously, like I said before, my birthday was the end of November, so I stopped buying then. Obviously, people were buying gifts, and then on the road to Christmas now, I've had to stop buying, as well as simple fact that if I keep buying things, I'm bound to buy something that someone was going to buy me as a gift. So it's about it, really. I mean, there's a couple of pop vinyls kicking about that I got bought. The number one Jason Voorhees one. If we can get the bloody glare off it, there you go. That was bought for me for my birthday. And then, give me 2 seconds. And then the really rather large He-Man one that was bought for me again for my birthday from my daughter and her partner. This thing is an absolute beast. Look at the size of it. That's really good. There's some weight in it as well. That's really cool. And like I say, I'm not the biggest pop collector, really. I don't know that much about them. Not the ones I've got, what people's bought me as gifts. I've also got a Bill and Ted one up there as well, and a Beetlejuice. But I've also got a Groot and a Chewbacca right at the top as well. But like I say, I don't collect. I don't collect that many of them. I mean, I was never the biggest fan. I don't think it's that I didn't like what they were. It's just there's that many of them. I mean, the market's just saturated with them, and they're just going for all kinds of different crazy money. Some of them, and every now and again, the odd one or two stand out to me that look pretty good. And the only ones I ever really wanted were the Bill and Ted ones. I always really liked the Bill and Ted. So that was the Ted one. The Bill one's got loads of stuff all over it, so I can't get it out. Yeah, I mean, 2K to 4K is going twice as good. So resolution wise, I think how it goes. It's obviously 1080p in it, 1080p to 2K to 4K. So it's doubling in quality every time it goes up in it. And what you'll find with a lot of this stuff now is it's had 4K restoration, but then been compressed onto a Blu-ray disc. Because if you take notice now, Arrow, the stuff that's been released by Arrow Video on the new 4K stuff already had a 4K restoration on the Blu-rays. So now they're just releasing them as onto the 4Ks, which, you know what I mean, RoboCop's up there again for 4K, but I ain't buying RoboCop again for about the 7th time. The Arrow one up there that I've got will do me fine. The only one that I probably am going to buy in on from the Arrow stuff is the re-release of Phenomena, but in the UK edition, because in the UK it was known as Creepers. So they're releasing a Creepers edition of it, 4K box set. That looks brilliant. That's 35 quid. But it does look nice. It looks like the old VHS big box set from the rental store. So it's purple and gold, like the old big VHS boxes. So I'll probably get into that. I'm feeling that I've not really got my eye on much else coming through for the rest of this year. I don't think there's anything else due out now that I will pick up that obviously people are looking to buy gifts, so that's where that will be coming from. And then into the new year, there'll be a few things kicking around. In the new year, I'm probably going to have a look of trying to get into the Hanna-Barbera release stuff into the US. I've got a little bit of it here, but a lot of it was never released over here. So shows like Gilda and the Golden Lance, there's a complete set of that in the US. Thunder the Barbarian, there's a complete set of that. Centurions. There's a few of those shows that I really, really would like that we've never had any kind of release in the UK at all of it. And I know Thunder has got a Blu-ray release now, so I might even have a look into that into the new year. Yes. Can your eyes detect the difference if it's compressed to 4K onto a Blu-ray versus a 4K disc? Yeah, massively. It's like compression. It's like digital compression of any kind, isn't it? Really, it's once it's been compacted down and pushed on, you're always going to lose some kind of quality, always. So Blu-ray disc to 4K disc, even if that Blu-ray disc has got a 4K restoration on it, 4K transfer, you'll see that it is good quality. But then as soon as you take that step up and you go with 4K itself, you can notice the difference. And again, it all depends what kind of setup you've got. You know what I mean? Have a 60 inch 4K high sense TV, Dolby Atmos, HDR plus 10, Dolby Vision on it with a LG 4K player. You can really tell. I mean, also the audio that's coming off these 4K discs now with the Atmos tracks on them, they're fantastic. Yeah, they're really, really good. I'm probably going to end it here now. We've got just over an hour. Had a chat, had a look at some other stuff. It's been nice chatting with you, Future Boy, as always. No, mate, I won't double dip. I've stopped doing it now. Really, I don't mind updating my DVD to Blu-ray, but I really can't be bothered again going from Blu-ray to 4K. It's just not offering me that much more. I'll probably find a lot of these 4K releases now. I mean, the boutique stuff you're all right, but the other stuff you're getting less. I mean, a lot of this standard sort of off-the-shelf Blu-ray stuff here has got some decent bonus features on it. And what I'm finding on the 4K stuff now, a lot of that bonus stuff's just being dropped, which is a shame because I like the bonus stuff on a film on a disc. So I'll probably just stop with the transfers I've got on Blu-ray. No, thank you for stopping by, mate. It's like I say, I didn't know if anyone was going to drop in or not. It was like I say, it was a bit of improv, really. I just threw it out there an hour and a bit before I started, just to have a chat. Obviously, this will go up on my channel as well as. It's always nice chatting to someone and showing a few bits off. And again, I'll drop those links down below in the descriptions for you, so you can check out Pidax from Germany and Network from the UK. And have a look, see what you think of some of those titles. I mean, both companies are very good at what they do. Both companies are reasonably priced. If there's something on there that you do like and you can't get it shipped to the US for any difficulties, I don't mind shipping anything over for you. Again, I do it with my good friend Johnny Walker. What I mean, all you've got to do is ping me the money. I can give you a price on shipping, and I can get stuff out to you that way if it makes stuff easier for you. But have a good one. I will be doing I'll probably do one more live stream before Christmas itself, and I'll look at some Christmas titles, some cartoons, and some 80s Christmas films and that. So I'll probably that one day next week. I'm off work now, so I'll roll one out next week. Well, thank you everyone that's tuned in. Thank you everyone that's commented. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all again soon. See you later. Bye bye.